Okay. So after dropping off my sibling at college in Vermont, my parents and I decided to continue on to Quebec City for a little weekend trip. It's been years since I've been there and they've never been, so we thought, why not? Always fun to make a fool of myself attempting to speak French. So I brought along a camera that's really new to me and pretty interesting. So this is a 1960s half-frame camera made by Olympus called the Pen EE. Even better, it's the S model, so it's the Pen EES, which never fails to get a giggle out of me. Now, a half-frame camera only exposes to half of each 35mm frame, meaning you get double the amount of shots. Like, now you get 72 shots out of this 36 exposure Fuji 400, and with the cost of film right now, that sounds super dope. Also weird, but honestly convenient for me, is that because it's exposing to only half of each frame, the default position ends up being vertical. Despite the week of beautiful weather in Vermont, Quebec ended up being gloomy most of the time we were there, but it was still so cool to be back in such a beautiful, historic place. I do feel like, though, I get a little bit self-conscious when I'm taking photos in a touristy kind of place. Mainly because, everybody's taking pictures of the same things. So, I tried to bring a new perspective to it, and I tried to embrace the fact that even if somebody has taken a picture of this 1,000 times before, it's still beautiful. At the end of the day, if I enjoyed it and found beauty in it, then my perspective was inherent and valid. It started to really come down, so I put my gear away and we walked to lunch. I love shooting on older equipment. There's something so beautiful about using this thing that was well made and has stood the test of time. But in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking I have to protect this thing. A lot of that comes down to the fear of if something goes wrong with it, do the parts exist? Am I going to be able to fix it? Do I know somebody who's going to be able to fix it? Is it even possible? Is it going to be expensive? Certainly with newer equipment, you at least have that peace of mind, especially if stuff is weather sealed. I shot a lot of the B-roll on my iPhone, which is A, super small and convenient, and B, it's weather sealed, so I just didn't have to worry about it that much. After lunch, the rain died down, so we took the funicular to Lower Town, where I got some of my favorite shots of the trip. Another super touristy kind of shot, but still so cool to see the Chateau Frontenac looming over everything. I was walking along the road, which you can see midway up the stairs, and I saw all this tinfoil stuck to the bricks and stones. I've seen this stuff done in concept before, but never in person on this kind of a scale. I would later learn that this piece is called Double Interlaced Concentric Circles by Felice Verini, who's based in Switzerland and France, and he seems to enjoy employing architectural settings to create these big 3D canvases for these large monochromatic compositions. And you are kind of supposed to look around to try to find the correct vantage point. And I think that's super fun to make this giant puzzle and be rewarded like that. I thought the coolest part about it is, if you paint on brick or stone, it's incredibly difficult to get rid of it. But since they did it on aluminum foil, they could just peel it off at the end without any risk of damaging the stonework. So I kept seeing googly eyes posted all around the city, and I found out that it is a part of a project called Big Other, like Big Brother, by Pierre and Marie, based in Quebec. And the reasoning behind it is they put up these big googly eyes to create this personified effect. They were trying to evoke feelings of surveillance. They wanted to highlight this playful yet oppressive imagery to talk about the dual nature of social media and hidden in plain sight surveillance. Now, I don't think that this woman was actually getting married. I think that it was a photo shoot for a dressmaker, but either way, such a dope photo. Afterwards, we chilled out on the Dufferin Terrace, looking out over the St. Lawrence from Upper Town. I sat on a bench with my family, eating some delicious mango sorbet I don't usually like to camp out in front of a background, but I knew that because of the way that people would be coming in and out as opposed to walking past this background, there was a lot of potential for some really cool personality shots. And I ended up being correct. This guy with his little easel in his hand, dressed up all dapper, loved it. Around then, I called it a day for photos. Luckily, just before we left the next day, we had one morning of stunning weather. I was woken up super early, so I decided, hey, you know, just go outside, do some of the whole golden hour thing. I ended up pulling out this Ricoh KR-30SP, a super underrated SLR. The KR-30SP was introduced in the 1980s as kind of a simplified version of the XRP. It didn't have some of the bells and whistles like the inbuilt intervalometer, which is what you use to take time lapses. Like you can program it to take a picture every so often. It's a bit forgotten about. A little bit plasticky, but very capable, and it takes K-mount lenses, which, in my experience, are pretty cheap, good, and plentiful. And I ended up shooting on Portra 160. I don't know, Portra 160, it's kind of overlooked. Really awesome for bright, sunny days. Really awesome natural colors, super fine grain. I ended up walking back up the hill to the Citadel to try my hand at some of the shots from up there, but with a longer lens. Attached to the Ricoh, I had a Ricoh 70 to 210 f3.9 zoom lens and a ProMaster 28 to 70 f2.8. And either I'm doing something wrong or I was having some major focus issues, but luckily some of these turned out all right. For example, this one. I mean, talk about touristy, talk about like straight out of postcard. It was such a beautiful morning. The clouds looked beautiful. The light was hitting everything just right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the shot. I knew I was going to have to go through airport security, so I was kind of in a bit of a rush to use up all the shots on the roll. You know, I will say having 72 shots on the half frame, it kind of becomes a little bit daunting. I feel like I slow down and take my time when I'm shooting on film, and when you've got that many shots to go through, it just feels like, oh, this is going to take forever to do. I suppose the abundance of shots is both a blessing and a curse. Part of the reason why people seem to gravitate towards shooting film seems to be that shots are limited. You feel constrained. You feel like you must consider every single shot because you know you've got a limited amount of shots. And you know each shot is relatively expensive compared to shooting digital. But I do think there is a happy medium of freedom that half-frame photography allows for. And I find it very, very exciting. Especially when you're traveling and you can't guarantee you'll be able to find another roll of film. Having that little bit of extra insurance of stretching out what you have a little bit longer, that's incredibly valuable. But luckily, I ended up going through both rolls, packed it all up, and headed back to New York. If you enjoyed the shots and the whole vlog deal and you want to see more, including the shots I took in Vermont, then make sure to follow and subscribe.